my talk is about top trending web tech, development skill for this decade. We can say 2020 to 30, right? So this is just outline of this talk. Like for the next 10 years, what will be in the demand in web technology. So if you are looking for the career on web development, then basically you can have a three choices. Front-end integrator who can just create the HTML, CSS, and some JavaScript stuff. Another is a backend developer, where you can learn backend programming language and create web apps or complex websites. Third is a full stack developer. That is something really trendy for the next years, like because one developer can do both front and back end development. So third will be full stack development, and the last is some general skills like you can consider as an add-on for your career perspectives. So hope you are excited about this whole topic, and let's get it started. So this is Sanjay Chauhan from NITSAN Technology. Maybe you have heard somewhere because we are working in web development since 10 years in Bhavnagar. So I'm a co-founder and the CTO of NITSAN Technologies. Let's have a quick look on the NITSAN. We are a truly MNC company because we have one another branch in Germany, and here as a production concern, we are working from India. So from at Germany, we have a marketing and all the stuff because most of the customers from European countries. Here a little bit fact, like we have a 25 plus member at the moment, and serving services to at least 10 plus countries. Here's our team. You can see me in the middle of the picture, and yeah. Here's a little glimpse of like how it's our office culture, like customer visits. One first photo is about award which we won internationally, and here are some pictures of our new cool office and all the things. So before we start, I think it's very important, like in the grandpa of Harry Potter said, it is not our abilities that show us who are truly are. It is our choices. So sometimes happen like a student or a person have a great skills, but they don't choose the right path, right, based on their skill. So it is very important about the choices, right? So you can focus on this talk like what is your interest, what's your skill, and so based on that you can choose your career. So let's start with very simple front integrator. I think the last year students may be already aware with all this thing, but for the third year maybe you can grab something for front integrator. So what are the front end skills? Because it's a basic fundamentals of web. Either you are a backend developer, front-end developer, or full stack developer, you should have these fundamentals very clearly. So let's check it out. What are the things? Basically, it's about HTML and CSS3. That is the base of whole web, development. And so how, for example, you are looking for front end, you want to be a front end integrator, right? So it's not enough that you just have the HTML, CSS knowledge, but you should able to practice to make the website from design file, for example, PSD to HTML or some AI files to HTML. So you need to learn those kind of tools via Photoshop, PSD, or AI, or Sketch, or something like that. And you should able to grab those pieces to make the website front end with HTML and CSS. For the CSS framework, I think most of you have heard about the Bootstrap, right? And there are other frameworks also there. Basically, with the core CSS, it's very difficult to achieve the complex website, like just writing a lot of lines of code with the CSS, it's a bit difficult. That's why frameworks are really popular. For example, this Bootstrap is like in the GitHub, it's when we start around 141,000 times. So you can imagine how the popular is about the Bootstrap. So with the CSS framework, basically, it's a kind of some, you can say the set of rules where you can quickly implement the, your website. For example, let me just show you some quickly demo so you can get the idea. Okay, for example, this is your site with the Bootstrap. Like, so with just simple this kind of code, like ready-made classes, you can just create this website quickly. Otherwise, you need to write a lot of CSS to, create the, whole website, like the top header, a container, your footer, and all the things. You can imagine like how it works. For example, you want to change this menu, right? Then we can just quickly change a little one. You don't need to, understand it at the moment, but just think about the framework, like how it works. So you can see the menu is gone, and now it's work as like a mobile menu, right? With the so you can this is the beauty of CSS framework. You can quickly create your website with some ready-made classes and structure, right? So that's why the Bootstrap is very popular, and people mostly use that CSS framework for their website front-end developer. So JavaScript, I think most of you heard about the JavaScript. You can imagine this picture like with simple HTML, you can just create the basic things. With HTML, CSS, you can use styles or colors or all the things. But with JavaScript, your company or your customer will love it, because that is giving some add-ons to create the interactive website. So definitely we will check in later one. But one thing I need to mention here, because whenever the students try to get with the companies or some people, like, and they always said, okay, you should learn the jQuery. But just trust me, jQuery is no more use, will no more use in 20 to 2030, because jQuery is very complex. It's very it's creating problem on the speed and performance, and there are many other drawbacks. So this is a bit surprise for you, but please keep it in your mind. I will let you know what are the alternatives and what are the trending things on the next slide. But this is very important that don't focus on jQuery, just focus on the core JavaScript, which I will let you know in the next slides. So JavaScript skills, I think many of you heard like, okay, there are a lot of frameworks. Maybe you can try to remember that you will get at least 2 to 3 lines, right? So let's check it out. Like hundreds of JavaScript frameworks are available, like React.js, Vue.js, AngularJS. These are the 3 top popular, and there are also other pre-React or Reason or Backbone from Google. I think there are a lot of other JavaScript frameworks available. But wait, you don't need to, just code with those funky framework, because you should aware with the vanilla JS. I'm not sure you have heard about vanilla JS, but this is really a very trendy, or you can say very popular things for the real-time projects, because with vanilla JS, you can create any kind of framework based on your needs. For example, React.js or Vue.js or AngularJS. The heart is vanilla JS. So whenever the people don't have the knowledge about that JavaScript core, then they get whenever they get the stuck in particular framework, then it's creating more problem, and they feel okay, JavaScript seems very difficult to learn and all the things. So this is a very fundamental. Before you start with any framework, React, Vue, or Angular, or Backbone, or anything, you need to learn the vanilla JS core fundamental, because there is a community, open source community, who are working with core JavaScript version. For example, there are ES1, 2, 6. 6 is the latest standard for the JavaScript. So all the frameworks are designed on those syntax, or you can say the fundamental. One of my favorite tweets, I think it was in the 2018, but it is still true in 2021. You can say like maybe switching to any framework with compensate for my lack of actual JavaScript knowledge. It means you have the knowledge of framework, but you don't have a JavaScript knowledge. You are trying to hiding the things, like you are trying to impressing someone that I know React.js and everything, but if you don't have a JavaScript knowledge, then it will create a problem on your real-time project. So yeah, well, let's back to the JavaScript framework. Of course, since a long time, like in the past 2 years, you can see in this graph, the React.js is getting very popular compared to Angular and Vue.js, because AngularJS is quite complex, Vue.js is quite a new one, but the React is getting very popularity because of number one reason is the Facebook, because they have launched in 2016 with the main focus of the speed, like the website speed, and of course easy to learn things, and they are hardly very pushing too much to the React.js, like it is very really nice and all the things. Personally, I really like the Vue.js because of the very structured and very really manner kind of, you can say. Yep. So of course, the React.js is the future on the JavaScript framework. We can clearly see in this graph. Responsive web design. This is one of the important skill for the front-end developer who want to build their career in front-end, because nowadays, like in 2000 to 2010, there was an era of desktop only things, like people only surfing the website from the desktop. But now we are in 2020, so people have a lot of devices like desktop, a tablet, or a mobile, or even TV screen is getting popular to surfing the site. So this is very important that you need to learn the fundamentals of cross devices compatibility, of course, as well as cross browsers compatibility, because there are popular browsers, Chrome, Safari, or Firefox. So you need to work hard on this compatibility. Let me try to give you an overview exactly in real time. What is responsive design? So this is our home website, NITSAN.in. For example, you want to see this inside in mobile view, for example. So how it looks like, you can see that the menu is getting like this. The elements are, really working well with the mobile. Right? So this is very important that you need to improve that. Like for example, iPad. Yeah. So how it looks on the iPad, you can see. So this is you can easily achieve with HTML5 and CSS framework like Bootstrap, to make your site compatible with desktop, tablet, and mobile. Okay. So that's it for the front-end development. Now I'm going to talk about the full-stack developer. You need to more focus on this, because this is a bit new terminology, and sometimes it's getting mashed up, like exactly what is full stack, right? In some simple terms, a developer who can create a backend and front end. Like for example, you want to make one website with not a number of people, but only one developer can easily create the website. This is because of the new technologies. I will talk in the next slides. As I said, like, why do we need many developers for one project? Because whenever many people getting into one project, you will get more problem to develop, to communicate, to maintain, to upgrade, and all the things. So that's why this is a new trend. Like many companies or agencies are looking for the people who can create a whole website as a one person, not with a lot of people. So let's check it how and what are the best practices available for that things. So the full stack all-in-one developer, like you can imagine, like there is one developer who can create the front end with Bootstrap or Angular or React.js, right? And he has also the knowledge of database, for example, MySQL. He knows like how the SQL works and SQL queries are there and what are the MySQL servers, rules, and all the things. And he has also the knowledge of backend development, like for example, somebody know the Laravel or Node.js or any PHP framework who can create the backend. So these are the three top skills: front end, back end, and a database. And add-on, you may have a cloud technologies knowledge, for example, AWS or a Google Cloud platform. So of course, this need time because you need to learn the front end technologies, HTML, CSS, React.js, or any other fundamentals. And you will also need to learn the backend development. So of course, this need a lot of hard work and time. And it's about the back experience. Like after hard work of 3 years, you may become the full stack developer with all the required skills and knowledge and experience. But I will let you know what will be the easiest way to become the all-in-one developer. Full stack developer, because there is a way you need to learn the one language and you can create the backend and front end. But if you want to learn your PHP or Python or any other frameworks, then it can be also possible, because we have two in-house developer who can work with the full stack things, and it's really working well compared to a traditional way. Like one project is come, then I need to hire the three people. Like one is a front end, one is a back end developer, one is a tester, for example, and they need to communicate, they need to understand, and need to complete the projects in the teamwork, right? But when I have the full stack developer, I just need to give the definition and the requirement. So he focus on based on his skills with the back end and front end. So what are the benefits? Of course, there are a lot of benefits of the full stack development. For example, easy switching between front end and back end. The full stack developer have the both knowledge, so he can quickly switch and set the priority of front end or back end. Easy upgradation. Like after 5 years, your customer is saying, I want to upgrade my web application which has been developed before 5 years from you guys. So I don't need to care about too many people. I have one person who have the knowledge, so he can easily upgrade. Flexibility, of course, because they have the timing is very important for the developer. So he has the flexibility of to making the front end or back end cost effective. Definitely, we will with full stack development, you can ignore unnecessary things of teamwork and discussions and meetings and all the things. So it will be save your time and cost, of course. Best fit for the small and medium enterprises. Yes, because there is 100% responsibility of one person. So we need to we can assign small to medium size projects. Also, design infrastructure. So infrastructure, yeah. So let's back to JavaScript because, as I said, to become a full stack developer, there is a really nice way where you can become easily a full stack developer. JavaScript is beauty. I think college guy. I mean, it happened. I hope you understand this feature in positive manner because it's happened like many people say like I have a knowledge of a strongly typed inherently safe compiled programming language, blah blah blah, right? And you said, okay, oh, JavaScript is much better because I can do much better things with JavaScript's beauty, like creating the front end and back end, right? So for back end guys, we definitely don't like it, but let's see how it works. So from 2009 to 2019, and there are hundreds of JavaScript frameworks introduced. For what purpose? They created in the last 10 years, JavaScript community created a rule to them, or I mean to create it in a way where you can create the front end and back end. So you can say the one language can rule them all. Like they don't care about the backend programming language because now they have a power of backend, mostly due to the Node.js. I will check in the next one. Like this is one of the stack, my favorite stack, you can say. If you have the knowledge of this technology, you can say the MERN stack, MERN, then you will be easily able to create a website or web application from backend and front end. So what is MongoDB? That is a database, just like MySQL and Oracle and all the things, but it is very lightweight and very popular and very demanding on for the next years. Basically, it's not a relational database, but it's very powerful when you are thinking about creating the APIs and all the things. Another is a Node.js. I think you may have heard about the Node.js. It was introduced by Google, and it's really getting popular because of the beauty to create the backend to use as a backend programming language. Because this is the first time in history where people can create the backend application using JavaScript, because JavaScript was basically designed for the front end only. But with the introduction of Node.js technologies, the time and the demand is changing of the JavaScript. So basically, Node.js is you can say the server environment. Maybe you have heard about the Apache or something like that in the Linux system. So it is just like you can say the Node development environment, where it's supporting the JavaScript to run the application and in the backend things, right? Express.js, that is one of the popular JavaScript framework. You can say the Node.js framework. It's just like you can compare, like if you have the knowledge of PHP, then you can say, okay, Laravel is a framework, right? So in the same way, if you are in the Node.js, then there is one choice of Express.js. Using Express.js, you can exactly write down your code of backend of your application, and like for example, Express.js will connect to your database MongoDB. Express.js will give you the data to front end like React.js. So this is one of the backbone of you can see the backend framework, right? And I think very well about the React.js. It is again the top framework since the last years. So this is the stack. Like if you are very serious about the full stack developer, and the beauty is that you only need to learn one language. You don't need to learn the PHP, Python, and JavaScript and all the things. You just need to learn the JavaScript, so you can easily create the backend and front end with Express.js and React.js, right? Maybe I can show here how means stuff. Like for example, the database is connecting with Node.js and Express.js, and Express.js is giving data to the React.js, so you can render the output. So this is a really great chance for the, and there are of course and other stacks are available in combinations of technologies like Node.js and React.js, Node.js with the MySQL. There are many stacks available, but this is one of the popular technology stacks you can consider for the next years. Why month stack? This is just real-time, a project which we have just completed in last before 3 months. It has been developed in month stack, and you can see the one of the beauties definitely the speed, right? GTmetrix is one of the the popular speed testing tools. So you can see like the whole website has been downloaded in 2.6 seconds. This is really important for everywhere. I mean, it's not about India or Europe, but everywhere speed is really important, right? Because whenever you are surfing any website and it's just giving you the loading screen or taking too much time, then you will be a bit frustrated. Okay, this is a bit taking more time. I don't want to serve this website. So now the Google's latest algorithm says like your website should be it should be served within the 2 to 3 seconds. I mean, your site should become. Let me show. Okay. Okay. Like you can see this website in the real time. Like for example, let me try to surf any navigation. You can see it's a half a second. You can just load the site, right? So it's just like you are surfing your some application in your mobile, right? Because that is the speediest things in the which we have ever seen. So the now website or web application fundamental also highly demanding about the speed and performance. So the point is that this is a beauty of a monster. Like you can get the rank of according to the Google latest algorithm. Like your site should be loaded within 2 to 3 seconds, and you should get the better performance rank. So this is one example what I'm trying to say, the month stack, because there are other many benefits like security, faster development, and all the maybe you can get into depth whenever you get the time, because I have a little limited time and still have a lot of topics. So yeah, let's move to the skill number 3. It's a pure backend development. Of course, full stack development is basically agencies are looking for particular projects, but there is always a scope for the backend development. So don't think like in the future everything is full stack. It's not like that. But the backend programming is that much important for the large or enterprise level web development. Let's say the website or application. So let's talk about the backend languages. Yep, this chart from the w3tech.com showing that PHP is still highly popular backend programming language. I mean, I'm sure many of people may be a bit shocked, like, okay, PHP, because many people think like PHP is not good and PHP is dying since a long time, but that's not a reality because I don't remember exactly, but around 80% websites has been built with the PHP frameworks and CMS. So, and according to our region, like in Gujarat or in India, we can say the PHP is very highly demanding for the IT services, industries, and even for the outsourcing and all things, right? I will not talk in detail with all the languages because we are working with PHP since 10 years, and we are really happy with the its robots solutions and the others benefits for the PHP. So I will only talk about the PHP and their things, right? And of course, I'm not saying the programming language is not good, but the popularity is saying that PHP is really great for any kind of applications. So let's talk in little bit depth about the PHP. Why PHP? My favorite actor says it's fantastic. So I think that's the beauty. I mean, that's one word we can describe a whole concept like the best. So a reason to choose PHP. First of all, we love the open source because it's free and friendly. The PHP have one of the largest open source community in programming language, I can say. So we are 100% open source company. So we love that things, all compatibility of operating systems and servers and all that. That's one of the beauty. Like you go to the cloud or hosting or any kind of things, PHP is always compatible. So that is one of the beauty. Enhanced security since the type PHP 7 and 8. 7 is almost gone. With the PHP 8, there will be a I think the point PHP 5 was a bit problematic, but with the introduction of 7 and 8, they have created a great security features. Flexible and dynamic, I think this is very important. Either you are a beginner or you are fresher, uh, you can easily learn the PHP, as well as the flexibility and dynamic things are really possible with the PHP, because if you are experienced developer, you can manipulate anything for your applications, and so the extendability is really nice of the PHP. So let's a little talk about PHP CMS, content management system. I think you know what is CMS. So let's check out the content management system. If someone is not aware, then I just want to aware like what is CMS. Basically, it is a kind of framework, you can say, or a system where your whole website can be manageable from the back end. So my guess WordPress is one of the best example. Maybe a student generally aware with the WordPress, but the point is that your editor or your customer or your website owner will not require the developer to maintain their content on the site. That is what we call the CMS, right? So you can see the number of PHP CMS available, like WordPress, Joomla, Drupal. I think these are in Magento, we can say. These are the very popular. Maybe you are already aware about that. But we love the Typo 3. Maybe you never heard about this one. I just want to let you know about this, because you can easily find out the WordPress tutorial and what Drupal or Joomla or Magento. But why we are working with I will let you know. But this is really important. Like in the whole CMS market, 61% market share is covered by the WordPress. So there is no competition. I mean, he absolutely winner of the CMS, and of course the beauty is again the simple to start, and you can also create the uh, enterprise level things on the WordPress too, based on your skill and knowledge. So WordPress is the most popular CMS. There is no doubt. I think there is a one survey like 75% website has been developed in WordPress. Imagine 100%, for example, 100 million sites are there, and 75 million websites has been developed with WordPress. So there are the scope, and there are the because no other language have such kind of CMS platform. Like PHP is giving the WordPress. That is one of the main successful reason for the PHP. And of course, there are many other things like Magento and Drupal. And the Typo 3, the golden open source CMS, because it's actually mainly popular in European region, and our 90% with customers from the European countries like Germany, Austria, or Switzerland. And why we choose? Because it's really golden, as you can say. We can't compare because of the beauty of CMS. Of course, it's not getting popular because of the needs, because it's very suitable for medium to enterprise level websites. Of course, you just want to create a small website. You should not go with the word typo 3. You should go with the WordPress or Drupal. But if you are looking for a complex website, then you should focus on you can choose a typo 3. Yeah, because German loves the typo 3, and they are the engineering guys. It's not only in the cars, but in the webs and CMS also. So I will love to let you just give you the demo. But before that, why we choose the typo 3? Speed, because as I said, for example, you are creating the site with WordPress or any other PHP CMS, you will not get the rank as like mentioned in this graph. You can see like WordPress is here with very low rank. Drupal is a bit high, that's good. Joomla is again very low, and there are other many CMS are available. For example, you may be heard about Wix, very proprietary CMS, very cheap, so it's getting very lower rank. But here's the typo 3 that shows the highest rank on speed and performance, right? And again, here's the report about our home website. You can see NITSAN.in getting, according to the Google standard, it's getting the highest rank on the website with just downloading whole website with 1.8 second. So that is amazing. I mean, this is very important for everyone. I mean, with the many really two perspective. One is your customer, your user who is surfing your website, and another is Google or such kind of search algorithm. So this site has been developed using typo 3 and getting awesome rank, right? Because we never get such kind of performance. We have already tried WordPress and Drupal, but we never get such kind of performance just like typo 3. And one of another favorite is security. It's typo 3 is again one of the best security CMS, you can say. This is a graph I can show you. Like WordPress, you can see 83% getting security problems. Of course, we can. It's a bit diplomatic things because WordPress is popular. That's why it's getting hacking many times because of the popularity, of course. But this chart is showing how they have tried to crack the particular CMS and they get very less chance with the typo 3. Like in here, you can see the very less chance for getting cracking the CMS. So okay, maybe we will love to see the little bit back end. I can quickly show you. This is our website. If someone is not aware what is CMS, I can give you the quick demo and also the demo of typo 3. Like whenever you are typing here the typo 3, you get the backend login. So you just need to log in and you can go to the backend system. Okay, let's just open one of the page. Like for example, in the main menu, we have a type of CMS development, right? So here in the page module, you can see all the pages of all your whole website, and you can get the selection because typo 3 is one of the only open source CMS who provide the multilingual thing. For example, our site is in German, so you can see the German version. For example, you want to edit this, why choose typo 3 as a business, for example, this headline. So from the backend, you can easily edit this content, and that's called the CMS, right? Okay. So let's move to the next. PHP framework. For difference between CMS and framework is very easy. Like if you want to create a static website, then you choose the CMS mostly. And of course, there could be a chance for creating some dynamic modules, like adding the shopping cart or booking module or something like that. But FreeHP framework is whenever your customers or your company is looking for the custom solution, like you want to create a tourism portal, for example, or you want to create a whole custom solution, right? Then you should go with the frameworks, right? So what are the frameworks available in PHP? Many of you heard about the Laravel, of course. Coordinator, Symfony is one of the oldest framework. KPS is not more popular. Wise gets some little bit jump, but then again it's a bit down. And Zend, maybe you don't aware, maybe you already aware about the PHP. The Zend is the company who is creating the PHP versions and maintaining and giving the support to the community. So Zen framework is one of the framework also. So let's check it out. Which is most popular framework as per Google Trends? It's saying that since 2012, it was launching of, it was getting hype about the Laravel, right? So here the Laravel is clearly winner of PHP framework. Again, it's not about like Symfony is bad, Kekvi is bad. It's not like that. They are good at their, based on your needs, you can choose the Symfony. But in generalized purpose, people really liking the Laravel framework. So that's why the graph saying is very highly popular and demanding since for last 5 years. So let's see why it's demanding, right? So what are the major advantages of Laravel? I think one of the biggest advantages of PHP 7 and new fundamental, because imagine the Symfony was created before 20 years ago, right? So that the fundamentals and the frameworks will definitely not get the chances of new technology, right? Like PHP 7 or 8. So Laravel is one of the latest framework, like it's getting popular since 4 to 5 years. So it's really getting too much advantages of framework, right? Because they can implement a new standard. They don't need to worry about the last deprecations or problems to make the compatibility with the server, right? So why Laravel? Highly security, because of the latest standards of the PHP. They created the one of the biggest reason of the choosing this framework is security. Performance is absolutely great because they have created the lightweight framework. Like you take the example of Zen framework or some old framework, they try to bind a lot of libraries and stuff within one framework. But Laravel community decided let's give the basic things so it will not create problems on performance, right? Faster database access. Laravel have a lot of driver that can connect with many of the server, for example, MySQL, Oracle, because they have created the database abstraction layer. So that's a beauty. Like if you want to switch your database to another database, right? MySQL to MongoDB, for example, then Laravel gives you easily flexibility without changing a single line of code. You can access the database. Affordable. That's for very easy to learn and faster development is possible. And the powerful online community. Yes, that's the beauty of open source community. Whenever any framework or any particular things is getting popular, then the community give their best to like for example creating new things for the next releases, to give the support to the learners or any newcomers. So this is one of the reasons why Laravel is getting popular, because you can get easily help anywhere there are the active community. So that's it for the skill number 3. That's backend programming. Now let's talk about general tech skills. Like you should have, either you are a backend or a full stack or any kind of person. I think this is very important that you should have some general tech skills. So first of all is the database. at least you should have a 2 to 3 database knowledge, because nowadays it's not a fix like whenever some customers say, okay, we like, hey, we like MySQL, hey, we like MongoDB. So you should aware with the database, at least have the knowledge of the server architecture, the basic fundamentals and all the things, right? So I think, in my opinion, MongoDB and MySQL is one of the trending one. Sorry, MariaDB, because it's the next version of the and you just focus on it based on other technology file like SQL Server or Amazon's Edge. Sure, maybe you can focus on that. But here this chart showing, I think the time is changing, but the MySQL is still getting popularity. I think because of most of the last year's projects has been developed with the open source MySQL Server. But I think the MongoDB is quite getting faster, even the PostgreSQL, because all of those are open source and have the new infrastructures, new stuff where it will help to your backend programming. So I think these are the three players where at least you should have a fundamental clears, and of course where based on your stack, for example, you are going to simply choose the LAMP stack, let's say the Linux, Apache, MySQL, and PHP, right? Then you should have the mastery of MySQL, and based on your selected stack of your programming language and environment, you should have the knowledge of database. Another skill is testing. Whatever you are a developer or integrator, or but you should have the test, because this is something we at least for the Indian people, we can say the quality always missing. Like whenever your website have the quality issues, right, then of course your customer, your users or your company will not like it. So this is very important, because actually we have the experience with German people. They have the very demanding on the quality of the things. It's not about just website, but quality of lives, quality of technologies or standard or other thing, right? So I think no one will definitely like the quality like side, right? So there are a lot of testing skills available. Basically, this is a kind of even separate career also. For example, if you don't have it's not like that, but you don't want to go with the programming skill, right? You don't want to write the code and all the things. So there is also a great opportunity to become a QC/QA tester, right? Quality check and assurance tester. That is one of the role also. But to be honest, as a developer, you should also have the testing skill, basic testing skill. You can say, like, whenever you are creating any form, for example, right? And you can say, hey, I'm done with my form, right? But you didn't have the check basic testing, functionality testing, for example, its validation is there or not, form is really very saving or not, if there is any security problems or not, right? So maybe this is a very we can say the DoD definition of done. That's need a basic testing skills, not a high level testing skill, right? Interface testing, like how your website is looking to particular browser or in the interface, right? Performance testing, like once you're done with your app or your website, you should check with the online testing tools, right? They will show you the errors or problems, so you can solve it. Security testing, there are basic fundamentals available, like cross-site scripting or something like that, right? And in this I think this will need a separate whole session to explain in detail, but this is very important. Like whenever you are doing development, then you should test your apps, or right? So usability, compatibility, accessibility, and all the things, right? So another is debugging. So as a developer, you should have the debugging skills, right? Because whenever you are saying my code is done, and your experienced person will definitely say, like, you try to debug your code, or it's very important. Like if you really want to be a perfect developer, then you should debug your code before giving it as a final submission, right? So there are good techniques in all the frameworks and CMS called unit testing, because that is one of the technique, by the way, in the debugging, that you can create a number of testing for your each code, and it will be run whole apps or site, and it will found, if found any problem, then you can directly fix. And as I say, you can relax and have a good time in that thing. So you don't need to worry about loopholes or some problems in your code. So yeah, debugging is very good thing. Another thing is Git. I think most of people are really aware with the Git. Maybe someone is known about SVN or something like that, but everything is gone. Only Git is there for the code versioning. Let's check it out. Why? First of all, what is code versioning? In this simple example, you can imagine like what is Git and code versioning. Like for example, in your academic project, you have one group where 3 to 4 people are working on one project, right? So imagine like you have 5 or 10 files which are common, right? And okay, and someone is changing, and your changes will be all right, definitely, right? So this is very important. Your code should be, versioning and maintaining, right? In this example, this is saying like the green is the master, your master branch of your project. Someone is working, then he will submit to master. It's your work is done, then you can submit to master. So everything will be collected smartly. You don't need to worry about your code overwrite or some problems will be created with many people working together, right? So of course Git is very wide, but what is this code versioning, I think there are latest 3 standards: Git, SVN, and Subversion. So, and here Google Trends says it's Git is very demanding, and everything else is getting very less popular. So and I think as far as no one is more use SVN or something like that. So you can just keep learning the Git. So in the Git, there are mainly 3 popular tools available. I think GitHub, everyone knows what is GitHub. Basically, it is open source from the Microsoft. And it's really awesome tool by the Microsoft, I must say, because they always created the proprietary solution, but now they focus on the open source. So this is really great. And another is the GitLab. That is another open source project, and the Bitbucket. So here you can see the 70% says GitHub is mostly used. I think the main reason to popularity behind the GitHub is the open source project, because they always promoted and giving much spaces and features for all the free projects, right? So maybe we can take a look, like if someone is known what is GitHub, I can show you quickly. Like this is github.com. Whenever you will log in, for example, I am logging with our account, right? NITSAN Technology, so it will give you the interfaces to manage your repository, right? For example, we have a 54 repository. All of these projects are open source. Right? For example, Twitter, right? So this is one of the projects. Here you can see that you can just clone your, you can get this project. I mean, anyone can get this project because of the free. Of course, the GitHub also provides the private repository. For example, you have a project which is not open for everyone, then you can create the private repository. So in the GitHub, your code will be really easy, man. Here you can see the contributor, many other contributor also, contributes to this project. Here people can create the, report the issues or bugs, right? And many other features are there. So yes. In the same way, the fundamental is same. The Git, the commands, the cloning, the pull request, merge request, everything is same. Only the difference is that these tools are managed by individual companies. So next is Docker. Maybe you have never heard about it, but this is really important nowadays uh, because since the 20, I think 2015, 2000 to 2015, I think there was a traditional way of development. Like whenever you are creating your applications or your websites or anything, you start with your desktop or any server, like, okay, creating, installing the Linux, Apache, or maybe in Windows guys use XAMPP or something like that. But that is gone. It is very old technologies. Docker is the future. Maybe you have also heard about the Kubernetes, but this is very cool because in your one machine you can create a number of apps. For example, this is my machine app here. I want to create Monstack like Node.js application. Here I want to create the LAMP like PHP based WordPress application, for example. Here I want to create the mobile application, for example. So in one machine you can easily create the application without any hardware dependency or any software dependency. Maybe I can show you. You want to create applications, number of applications based on your needs, based on your technology stack. You can easily create the Docker thing, right? Let's create a project called test project, for example. Let's go to the test. So here's nothing, right? So what I just need to do that, let's create the one project based on my need, right? Let's give the name of project. I can say the test, that's fine. Let's set the current directory. And here it will ask like you want to create the Drupal or Magento or WordPress or something like that, right? And I can say I don't want to go with any framework. Let's just go with the PHP. So that's it, right? Now I'll just start my project. So this is single application in your one folder. One application will be there in your other folder. And the beauty is that this is actually not a folder. It is whole container, whole your Linux system, right? If you are in even Windows, you can also run your Linux container within this Docker, right? So it's creating everything for me, like database or a router and all the things. Let's just wait for that. So that's it. It's been launched, and we can just access it. Maybe are you able to see this screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's create a simple, for example, PHP info.php. Okay, and let's just save this. Now this is my special URL. Generally, whenever you use Linux or XAMPP or something, you get the local host. There is only one single URL, right? But here's the beauty: like you will get the separate URL. So here my just created file is run, right? So this is the next really demanding technology because the hardware optimizations and software compatibility is the next topic for next training for the at least after 2020. So I would suggest that you try to explore more about this because it is very easy for the Windows-based Mac OS or Linux-based. The Docker is available, and by the tutorial you can easily install and use it very easily. Popular IDEs, call editors, PHP editors. I think many of you know about the Sublime, I think, or maybe VS Code or PHP Storm, right? It is very important to choose the right IDs because whenever you are creating or getting experience with your code, the editors give you the flexibility. For example, highlighting the syntax error, debugging your code, testing the thing, right? So what are the top available IDs for the PHP at least, right? So in my opinion, even in the Google saying like we also use the VS Code, again, one of the great products for Microsoft as a open source, and this is really nice that it's getting very trendy. Like Sublime was very popular in past years, but here in 2020, around 21, this VS Code demanding is very high. So it is again very easy tool. Let me just try to show you. For example, this VS Code. Hope everyone can see this. Let's create simple project from GitHub, right? I just getting clone from GitHub, so it's getting connect, and I can say like, okay, let's call this project, right? So it's asking me to the location.
Hello.
Yeah. So this is VS Code application. Like it's very easy to use, and the beauty is that there are number of extensions available for based on your needs. For example, in like we are working with the typo 3, and we have some special syntax to follow. Then we can create the extension and follow the rule. Let's have a quick look. Like I'm getting git clone from GitHub. So I'm just selecting git clone and it's getting cloned. So that's it. And you can open this folder. So this is the whole project that I can quickly. So it supports almost every language like JSON, PHP, or Python, and all the thing. And and one of the good thing is that it's very lightweight. Like the performance of your IDE is sometimes creating problem, like many files or projects in there. So yeah, this is very cool, and you should try that. Okay, let me just switch. Okay, fine. So I think in the next cloud technologies, this is again a very huge topic. I will try to give you little overview what are the cloud technologies, because the growth of the cloud tech computing is very popular. Again, this is one of the career. I mean, like whenever you are a PHP developer or a Python developer or maybe JavaScript developer, at least you should aware with the cloud computing, because most of the customers are trying to use cloud technology. You can see in 2016 and comparing the 2021, right? The economy, the growth is very high. That means that people are using it, right? 90% growth from 2016 to 21. So these are the top three available cloud platforms. Maybe you heard some of them: Amazon's AWS, Microsoft's Azure, and the Google Cloud Platform. And again, here the complete winner is AWS Cloud, because they have started very initially, and of course they are giving a lot of tools and technologies, and I think the price is also fair compared to this Google Cloud Frame or other things. So 52% market share is depending on the AWS. Maybe I can also give you the little demo of that. You can see that like with the AWS, very giant application, Netflix and that kind of application has been developed with AWS. And here you can see the 4 and Wix and all the Snapchat, and using the Google Cloud Platform. So let's check out. Like maybe I can show you a little screen, because when you log into that, you can choose the region, like your site. Like this is the beauty. Like people never think about this thing. Like your sites or your customers are from India, then you should go with the Mumbai region, for example. I think that should be Mumbai region. Yeah, this one, SS, right? Because our customers are from Europe, Frankfurt, so I'm just selected this one. And here you can see many services are providing. For your initial learning purpose, I would suggest you just focus on this EC2 service. It's just a Linux virtual container, you can say. It's just a kind of Linux box. So you can do some experiment of your SSS commands or installing anything like NGX or Apache server kind of thing. Maybe I can show you some container. No, I don't have a container, but you can just quickly launch it from here. Anyway, this is again a big topic, but I just want to give you the overview of backend, like how it looks. It's not like it's very different from what we are doing in our Linux system, but it is a kind of, for example, you have targeted 1,000 person. Just giving an example about the cloud technology, so you can get the idea. You have targeted 1,000 customers, so you choose like 8 MB RAM and 100 GB hard disk or something like that, right? And now suddenly your idea rocks and your startup working well, and you get the 10,000 visitor, right? Then what you will do? You will need to get another server, you need to do some compatibility, you need to install your software and all the things, right? But with the Scout platform, the beauty is that they just give you the upgradation platform. Like you can just choose the RAM, you just choose the hardware and all the things. So that's why the cloud platform is getting very popular because it's very extendable and very easy to maintain, right? And the last one topic is not the techies, but this is very trendy things about Agile. I don't know in your syllabus, still waterfall or SDS is there, but the Agile methodology is getting popular. I think it is very simple. The idea is that, like, for example, you have 1,000 hours projects, right? So in our general waterfall model, what we are doing, like this one, or SDLC, we set the goal of one time of goal of whole project, right? So in between, there are chances of problems like in requirement and in understanding and communications and all the things, right? So in agile methodology, how the project is divided into a number of sprint. You can say the small goal. Again, of course, this is a really big topic. It will need a separate discussion or a talk. But you can just bear in your mind that agile is one of kind thing, and you can more explore. So this is the beauty. Like you can divide the whole project into number of goals. So once one goal is achieved, then you can go for the second phase or sprint, you can say, and the step by step, your customer will be also happy like you don't give them shock at the end of project, but they're giving the a step by step, phase wise development updates and getting the completion state. So this is again a great techniques, which is not techy, but every developer or a company or team should adopt it, and based on that they can easily do the software development, right? This is just my general thing, maybe because I have given the overview of many topics. Maybe if you guys are interested on particular topics, then maybe I can ask someone here from my team for any techie part. For example, if people say like, we want to give learn depth into the React.js, then I can give my developer and they can take the session. Maybe sir, you can take this feedback, right? So if anyone have any questions, then I will love to answer them.
Sir, Typo 3 CMS is now it's open source or?
Yeah, it's actually it's open source since 1997. You can say it's one of the first open source PHP CMS, because the Kasper, who is the founder of the CMS, is from Denmark, and he created while the PHP was not popular. Just think about it, how it's old and mature. Yes, so it's open source. Is NITSAN hiring interns? That's a good question, but that's a question of HR. I'm not HR, guys. Yeah, but I think with the MOU signed with the SOE, SS College, we will definitely think about it, and I will talk with the Bhavesh sir that how can we make it efficiently, right? Because the problem is that this is my just opinion. Maybe our HR will take more decision with the SS College, but this is my just personal opinion that don't think about the intern as a as a career perspective. It's not like, okay, if I will do the intern, then I will do something, right? There is some kind of perspective, you can say, because the learning, especially in the IT, is always the self-learning, right? Like someone will be come and they will give you the line by line code and you will get learning. It's not like that, but with this era, we should try to learn by ourselves, right? We have a great opportunity for the freshers. it's just like intern, we can say. Like if you have a basic knowledge of PHP or any JavaScript framework, right? Then you just need to pass a little practical exam, very simple kind of code application, and then rest of our responsibility to give you the advanced training of PHP and CMS and framework. So this is actually how it works in this industry, right? Because if there are 200 people, students are there, then it's very difficult for the company to give the internship, right? So this is my opinion. Try to learn the basic things from your teacher, from online. Very great, tools are available, and try to connect with the people like NITSAN, right? Yeah. But about the real-time interns, Nitin will talk with you, Bhavesh sir. So let's see. Yeah. We can directly interact with database with Firebase in React.js. So why we should learn in backend technology, right? Yeah, that is also one of the way. Firebase. Maybe if I say Firebase, then student will surprise. What is this now? So I don't want to give too much information. That's why I have just neglected that kind of thing, because those are also trending things. But I was thinking like there are a third year student, there are the 4 year. So I was trying to balancing the things. So that's why I have not mentioned the fire there. But there are other technologies are there that you can easily do your React application. There is a wide, you can say, a sea of technologies.
Uh, you talked, there are many CMS in market.
Mm-hmm.
Like Magento is a particular CMS for e-commerce. So
Right.
Typo 3 is any particular work or for all over use?
Yes, basically Typo 3 is designed for medium to large scale website development, not e-commerce. E-commerce is a separate entity. Magento or WooCommerce or Shopify has been developed for the e-commerce, right? And Typo 3, like for example, I want to give some case study, like Sony PlayStation has been developed with the Typo 3. That kind of bigger websites, or you can say the web application, and in some cases you can say the intranet application. So my point is that it's just a CMS, but not like WordPress. WordPress is designed for small to medium-sized websites, and Typo3 is designed for medium to large scale, and that's why it's not getting popular, because there are those very less projects compared to small sites. Like US have the great market of WordPress, because of they have the every store have their own site, so they have the small scale things and they will go with the WordPress. So answer is that it's basically designed for the medium to a large scale website with the multilingual, multi-domain kind of features, right?
Oh, thank you.
Can wrap this session over here, sir.
Yes, please. That's fine. And of course, feel free to collect the questions, and you can later on maybe you can connect on that things, right? So it's my pleasure to connect with you, all the people, and please take care and have a great career. Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay.
And
Bye.